welcome back onto the sports segment. Day 4 at the Chennai Open had mixed results for Indian players. Crowd favourite Carlos Moya and Indian teenage sensation Yuki Bamri went down to Spanish duo of Marcel Granollers and Santiago Ventura 5-7, 1-6. Currently, Somdev Devvarman and Sanam Singh are playing Jeff Coetzee of South Africa and Roger Watson of Netherlands. Earlier in the day, the third-seeded Indian duo of Mahesh Bhupati and Rohan Bopanna lent finishing touches to their match against James Suratni and Travis Rattenmeyer of the US. They beat the US duo 6-3, 7-6 after play was called off yesterday due to rains when the team were locked at 5-all in the second set.
Because they hardly used their feet.
Some cricket news now. India won by 6 wickets with 15 balls remaining in a nail-biting finish in the Tri-Nation tournament in Dhaka. Both the openers did not stand for long. Gambhir was bowled out for 18 runs by Rubel Hussain. Sehwag was run out for 13 runs. Yuvi was bowled out by Syed Russell for just 1 run. It was a shaky start for Team India in today's match, but they managed to win the game. The host won the toss and elected to bat first. They had posted a huge score of 296 for 6 in just 50 overs.
Very good hit. It was more playing inside it. The ball.
We're now joined by R. Pattabhiraman, former cricketer, to discuss more about this match. So, sir, opening thoughts on the match today?
Yeah, fantastic start by Bangladesh. You can't take anything away from this. Notwithstanding they coming second best in this game, they would have probably taken a lot of heart given the kind of finishing spectacle they brought to the table while batting, and most importantly they got Indians on the mat taking 3 early wickets. So full marks to Bangladesh, but full marks as well to India in the form of Virat Kohli, young emerging Turk, in the company of cool Mahendra Singh Dhoni, who absolutely shepherded him with a flamboyant start and generally destroying the Bangladeshis.
Okay, so what do you think about Indian bowling today?
Indian bowling probably flattered to deceive. I think the seamers, given the fact that they barely bowled 20 overs and all these trundlers, honest trundlers like Virender Sehwag and Yuvraj Singh bowling 10 overs for 33 runs, had to fit in and fill in for those poor displays by Ashish Nehra. There is always room for improvement in these kind of flat pitches. Bowlers always going to be suffering, but given the fact that they are not able to get the Yorkers going, probably a bit of a cause for concern, I would like to think, for Indian seamers.
Okay, now Bangladesh performed very well today, putting up a score like 296 against a well-experienced team like India. Don't you think they're improving day by day?
Indeed, they are. If you cast your mind back to the earlier game, they dished out 260 on the board, and given that they have exceeded that expectation by 30 plus runs, obviously a good augury for Bangladesh. Obviously, the tournament is hot enough. Bangladesh, sadly, probably the third best team at this moment in time, but everything can very well quickly change in this one-day fortunes.
Do you think the Indian players actually expected Bangladesh to put up a huge score like this? Maybe they were caught off guard?
They probably didn't look to bat first, I think, and the captain probably took a brave call. Having said that, toss is mere spin of the coin. You got to do whatever you do first wonderfully well, which is exactly what Bangladesh mustered.
Okay. Now, the fielding of the Indian team has been a matter of concern over the past few ODI matches. Any improvement on that front?
Well, these things don't happen overnight. A tiny bit of improvement you would probably like to think, not that they missed a great deal of catches or anything like that. In the earlier tournament which you're referring to against Sri Lanka, they were probably very shoddy. But I mean, these things don't transform overnight. There is always room for improvement, and given their commitment, given their kind of work ethic, they probably will improve with passage of play.
Okay, now initially India had lost 3 wickets within the 100-run mark. So it looked as though India was going to lose, but somehow they made it.
Indeed, the wheels were seemingly looking to come off the Indian circuit, but as I said a tad ago, Mahendra Singh Dhoni and Virat Kohli with that kind of stunning good stand, and in the company of Suresh Raina later on stages, Dhoni absolutely shepherded the boys wonderfully well, and in the end it was a breezy kind of canter for India.
Okay, so what do you think India has up next? The upcoming matches, what do you expect? How do you expect India to play?
India is slated to play Sri Lanka in a couple of days' time in Dhaka. They will obviously want to take some kind of revenge against Sri Lanka, given the fact that they want to be on a bit of a roll. They don't want to lose the momentum of this spectacular run chase. And if they get past Sri Lanka, they are well and truly on course to making it to the final on 13th, I think.
What do you think about Bangladesh? What do they have up?
Well, they got nothing to lose really, isn't it? They got to win everything inside, so to speak. They've lost 2 games. They have fought very hard in their back terrain as well, but they got to win everything inside as well. Well, you never know in one-day cricket, do you?
Now, coming to players individually, Yuvraj Singh, how do you think he's been performing, and
He's coming after injury hibernation, but notwithstanding that, he dished out a spectacular kind of batting effort in the earlier game. He mustered 70 odd, and today he's bowled wonderfully well. Today he was probably a touch lackadaisical in not quite picking the length of the ball. There are runs to be had today. You would have probably expected Yuvraj Singh to probably dish out a huge ton today, but sadly not to be. But he's a big match player, a champion performer. No questions about Yuvraj Singh.
Moving away from ODIs a bit, recently the test match team was announced and they have left the team more or less untouched. What do you think the Indian team has in hold for test matches,
Well, we got spectacular bench strength, really, isn't it? As Srikanth was pointing out the other day in one of those press conferences.
Yeah, he was in fact saying that we have one of the best batting lineup probably the world cricket has ever seen.
Indeed is. And for a guy like Badrinath to be missing out on the touring party will probably give you an inkling of the kind of batting effort, batting kind of might India brings to the table. Likes of VVS Lakshman, Rahul Dravid, they'll be walking into the scene. Murli Vijay is there as a third opener. Karthik, he's got tons and tons of runs in domestic circuit. Well, we got spectacular batting strength in India, and it's just that Badrinath is a tad unlucky to have missed out, I think.
Okay, shifting a focus a bit towards the Chennai boys, Murli Vijay, how do you think their performance has been? Murli Vijay and Dinesh Karthik, how do you think their performance has been?
Sadly, they're not quite getting a consistent run because of the kind of players that they are, pitted against, so to speak. Murli Vijay is up against the likes of Gautam Gambhir and Virender Sehwag. They are no mean combination. They are spectacular combination. So Murli Vijay is doing the hard yards. Whatever little chance he's getting, he's grabbing it. And likewise, Dinesh Karthik is up against Mahendra Singh Dhoni. And mind you, there is only one slot for a wicketkeeper. And Dhoni, we all talk about his cool, calm, sagely head. It's very, very tough to replace him. And he's doing a spectacular show as well. So all these Chennai boys are up against it. I'm talking about Badrinath. He's up against the likes of VVS Lakshman, Rahul Dravid. So very tough to obliterate those two names from the Indian middle order, isn't it?
Yeah. So moving to the airing of these matches, you were just telling me about the advancement of the match timings. A bit more about that, sir.
Yeah, the broadcaster has obviously conceded 30 minutes, I think. Come in from day after tomorrow onwards, they looking to schedule it 30 minutes, given the dew that is prevalent in Bangladesh, sadly plaguing the game, and given that broadcasters, call the shots these days, they market it, they're probably sold to a lot of willing partners. They're not quite, willing to accommodate 90 minutes advancement in the schedule. But having said that, they have conceded to do it 30 minutes, I think, from what I gather from press reports.
Okay, the fresh list for the IPL auction is out. Your thoughts about that?
Well, plenty of players are on view.
There are 51 players, I think.
Indeed, they are. Indeed.
A wide range of countries from all over the place.
Indeed, and everybody is queuing up to get themselves playing in this IPL, given that the World Cup is getting staged very, very shortly after the culmination of IPL will probably help the players to get into the swing of it, so to speak, and in that sense it heightens expectation, and IPL is a huge roaring hit. There's no mistakes about that.
Okay, this issue about Pakistan not being able to, do you think the Indians went wrong somewhere?
With respect to?
With respect to Pakistani players not being able to list themselves in the IPL auction.
There was some kind of visa formalities which had to be complied. I'm not too sure what exactly transpired, but the word is out that Shahid Afridi and one or two illustrious match-winning performers are out for grabs. Maybe he's probably looking to get out of Deccan Chargers and probably get into Kolkata Knight Riders or something like that. I'm not too sure, but Pakistani players are wonderful, kind of players. They obviously add luster and charm and that kind of cricketing kind of quality to the table.
Okay, so we'll end this discussion on that note. We sure want Pakistani players in our IPL teams as well. Thanks a lot for joining us today, yes sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, as we say goodbye, we leave you with the visuals of the lip-smacking Kuttu Parota Israeli style. Here's Judy Sella, world number 43, getting a taste of Chennai's very own cuisine on the sidelines of Chennai Open. Good night.